welcome to Diplomatic Channel. I am Amarachi Ubani. This week we revisit the devastation going on in Syria. Renewed attacks which the UN has described as catastrophic and is now calling on the US and Russia to put heads together and think up a solution. Now, it's not like leaders have not been discussing the civil war going on in Syria, save the dynamics have changed. The focus is now on getting rid of the Islamic State militants which have been threatening to take over Syria and Iraq. In light of the Islamic State activities, President Bashar al-Assad's problems have gotten bigger, and so has that of the international community, because rebels are indeed running rogue, and it's not quite clear who the coalition forces are supporting anymore. The plan now is to wipe out the militants for good, a tough task for the countries involved. So this week we're reviewing the recent violence and international response in the aftermath. Then we turn our focus to the earthquake in Ecuador. A 7.8 magnitude quake has drawn sympathy from international donors. For example, China has delivered humanitarian aid to the tune of $2 million, and communities across the world have been working to send special donations. The country's leadership is now mapping out a plan for reconstruction. Ecuador's risk management agency says 659 people died in the quake. 654 of them were from the Banabi province in the hardest hit area. Later in the program, we talk to the Ecuadorian ambassador to Nigeria, Mr. Leopoldo Rovayo Verdesoto, about those donations and how the country is coping in the aftermath of the quake and Ecuador's relations with Nigeria. Let's get a quick check on other discussions in diplomatic circles. We'll be right back. The Japanese Foreign Minister Fumio Kishida is in Thailand for a two-day visit aimed at strengthening economic ties after Japanese investments in Thailand slumped last year amid political fears as well as stiff competition emerging from more nimble neighbours. At a press conference later, Mr. Kishida said Thailand remained an important stakeholder to Japan and was crucial to the country's trade relations with the rest of the world. Japan has historically been the largest investor in Thailand, Southeast Asia's second biggest economy, which Tokyo sees as an important production base. However, Japanese investment in Thailand nosedived by 81% last year, according to official data, something analysts say mirrors concern about Thailand's economy, which continues to struggle under prolonged military rule. The minister continues his regional tour to Myanmar, Laos and Vietnam. Malaysian police have repatriated to China 97 telecom fraudsters, 32 of them from Taiwan. They were rounded up late March for investigation into 5 telecom fraud cases affecting victims from across mainland China. China had requested Malaysia send the 32 suspects from Taiwan after 20 suspects were transferred to Taiwan earlier this month. Both sides across the Taiwan Strait have pledged to further cooperate in their crackdown on telecom fraud. The two sides reached the consensus on April 20th. The suspected telecom fraudsters will be prosecuted and tried in the Guangdong province, and suspects from Taiwan will be prosecuted and tried in accordance with Chinese laws. The telecom fraud cases have involved millions of won in cheated money, and the victims are residents from over 20 provinces on the Chinese mainland. 454 migrants have been rescued by a Norwegian vessel which brought them to the port of Pozzallo, Sicily on Sunday. The vessel also brought bodies of 2 sub-Saharan males aged around 25 who had been recovered from 2 separate boats. The cause of their deaths is not known. Among the rescued arriving on Sunday were 8 migrants who had been taken ashore on Saturday to receive medical attention for their injuries. Italian officials are expecting there will be more rescues at sea as more migrants try to make the longer and much more dangerous sea crossing from Libya following the EU's new deal with Turkey.
Yesterday we disembarked 8 people that were injured also, and also 2 dead bodies recovered from a rubber boat. These people, they come from in total 4 rubber boats that departed from the Libyan coast, and they were picked up by 2 military ships. We had a transfer from the military ships and brought them here today. So many of these people, they have lost loved ones, and we suspect that also other people have drowned before or under this rescue operation.
Finally, Brussels' Zaventem Airport's departure hall has been partially reopened less than 6 weeks since an attack by Islamic State suicide bombers which killed 16 people there. At an opening ceremony, Belgium's Prime Minister Charles Michel paid tribute to the victims, saying Brussels is back in business. Passengers for 3 flights to Lisbon, Palma and Malaga were the first who used the renovated check-in area on Sunday. Brussels Airlines employees said it was strange to be back after the events, but they wanted to show that they're there and that together they remain strong. One passenger said if a traveller felt tense, but is hopeful it will ease after takeoff.